My name is Kayla Delarme, and this is my informative speech on how to boil water. If I asked a person if they knew how to boil water, most likely the answer would be yes. It's a very simple process. You take a pot, you fill it with water, and put it on a heating element, and just wait for it to bubble. My next question would be, what do you boil? There'd be a variety of answers, from meat, eggs, pastas, potatoes, and many other things that are commonly boiled. When I first enrolled in Renton Technical College's culinary program, I would have had very similar answers. Though, as I got deeper into my program, I realized that I had been wrong, and it is a very more complicated process than I could have imagined. Boiling is a moist heat cooking method. That is, it takes a hot liquid to transfer heat to a food. The temperature at which you should boil food at is a constant 212 degrees Fahrenheit, or 1,000 degrees Celsius. Though the boiling temperature is constant, with added foods, the boiling point could change. When you add sugar or salt to your water, the boiling point would increase, or the temperature would increase. When you add things that have a smaller boiling point, like alcohol, which has a boiling point of 175 degrees, the boiling point would also decrease. When boiling water, the molecules in the water break up and form steam. Now, we all know that every element has three forms: a solid, a liquid, and a gas. Boiling is just turning the liquid form of water into its gas form of steam. Now, steam is lighter and hotter than air, so it'll rise above air, forcing the air down into the water. Depending on the pressure of the air, it will change the boiling point. When you change altitudes, for example, the boiling point will also change. Going to a lower altitude, like the Dead Sea, at 1,300 feet below sea level, the boiling point will increase to 215 degrees Fahrenheit. When you go above sea level, like Denver, Colorado, at 5,000 feet above sea level, the boiling point will decrease to 202 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you decide to go hiking on Mount Everest and need to boil water, it will only need to reach 157 degrees to boiling point. There are two cooking methods that often are mistaken for boiling. The first one is poaching, which is 160 degrees to 180 degrees. Now, the things that are poached are delicate foods like fish and eggs and fruit. These cannot be boiled or they will be ruined. Fish, for example, when poaching, is a perfect and together and cooked all the way through. But when boiled, though it may be cooked all the way through, the fish will be torn apart and be unedible. When boiling eggs, the eggs will crack together and the eggs will leak into the water, or the water will leak in between the shells. The next cooking method is simmering, is when the bubbles first start to form in the water. That is at 185 degrees to 205 degrees. Foods that need to be simmered are more tough and need to be tenderized, like chicken and vegetables. When simmering chicken, it tenderizes the meat and makes it moist all the way through. Though, if you boil chicken instead, the outsides will become tough and chewy, while the insides are nice and moist. When simmering vegetables, though it will cook very fast, they will often overcook, unless you get an ice bath and submerge them in an ice bath to stop them from cooking. Lots of soups are also mistaken for boiling, though if you boil an unwatched soup or don't stir the soup, the bottom will burn. And when boiling milk, the fat will separate from the liquid and will become flaky and very unappetizing looking. Now that we have learned what not to boil, as in fish and eggs and chicken and vegetables, what do we boil? Well, according to my culinary textbook or my On Cooking book, the only things that should be boiled are starches, as pasta and potatoes. Now, when you boil pasta, You want it to a perfect al dente, and that can only be done with boiling. Though you can overcook pasta and potatoes by boiling them too much. They become mushy and incorporate into the water. So next time you're boiling water, you might want to step back and think, am I using the right cooking method?